It is sometimes assumed that Jesus was illiterate. The first point is that, until the latter 19th century, illiteracy, the inability to read and write, was not equated with ignorance. Many learned persons memorized, reasoned, managed, debated, theorized and organized without knowing how to read. Indeed, illiterate people, not having notes to rely on, often produce more reliable testimony than literate people. The evidence shows that Jesus was well educated and almost certainly literate as well. It is difficult to imagine an illiterate Jesus debating with scholars or, especially, reading aloud from the scriptures in the Nazareth synagogue.
He went to Nazareth where he had been brought up. And on the Sabbath day he went into the synagogue as was his custom. He stood up to read. And the scroll of the prophet Isaiah was handed to him. Unrolling it, he found the place where it is written, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners, and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." Then he rolled up the scroll, gave it back to the attendant, and sat down. The eyes of everyone in the synagogue were fastened on him.
Jesus said that not a letter or a stroke of the law would disappear.
"Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen, will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished."
This is not a metaphor that would spring to the mind of an illiterate. Several times Jesus asked his followers whether they had read passages of Scripture.
"Haven't you read," he replied, "that at the beginning the Creator made them male and female?" He answered, "Have you never read what David did when he and his companions were hungry and in need? Haven't you read this passage of Scripture? The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Now about the dead rising. Have you not read in the book of Moses, in the account of the burning bush, how God said to him, 'I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob'?" "What is written in the law?" he replied. "How do you read it?"
John reports that Jesus knew his letters, and he was frequently called Rabbi or Rabboni, meaning a teacher, learned in Hebrew scriptures. The idea of an illiterate rabbi attracting disciples is hardly credible. Jewish law ordained that boys be taught to learn the Hebrew Bible, so it is likely that at least some of his disciples could read as well. The degree to which Jesus was literate is open to question, but the evidence favors literacy.